Hello Panda Warriors and welcome back to the channel. This is the 5th video of our 7 days of Christmas here on YouTube. So today we are doing our part 2 of rating my short stories that I have written. We're kind of getting into more of the more like the recent ones, the ones that are kind of like post Patreon being made. So a lot of these originally started out on my Patreon and have made their way over to YouTube after like a year or so of being a Patreon exclusive. Last time, if you don't remember, I will flash up just a quick little visual to remind you of some of our top stories and what some of our not so top stories are from last time. As before, S is of course the top of the top. So far, only The Lighthouse Keeper and Feather Pen has made it to S tier. A tier is good, but not quite S tier. B is kind of like middle of the road. C is it's all right, and D is like no good and or I can't remember writing the story. I don't remember writing the story, but I don't remember the story well enough to like properly place it on my ranking list. So that is what the various ranks mean. So without further ado, we're going to start out with our first story, which is going to be Knock on Wood. So Knock on Wood, from what I remember, it was, like I said, it was a Halloween one. It was all right. It was kind of like supposed to be like kind of spooky and scary. And so I thought for, you know, being a, like one of my first tries on spooky scary kind of, it was pretty good. So, Knock on, I don't know if it's as good. So I feel like Knock on Wood, I don't know if I want to put B tier. I feel like Knock on Wood is like a C tier kind of story. Yeah. So Knock on Wood, we're going to start off our first one with C tier. The next one is The First Snow. The First Snow, I don't remember, like I remember it and I remember where I filmed it and I remember where I was, but I don't necessarily remember it very, very well. So for that reason, I'm unfortunately going to have to put in D tier. I remember kind of liking it, but kind of not, so I'm not entirely sure. A New Year's Story, that is our next one. And for A New Year's Story, if I remember right, it felt like it wasn't as developed as I wish it would have been. It felt like it was something that I kind of put out because I wanted to get something out for the new year, like on the 1st of January. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go with D tier, just because it felt kind of rushed. It didn't feel like it was quite what I was, you know, what I should have done. Hello, this is Editing Amanda. I just wanted to come on real quick and say I got the New Year's Story. I got that one mixed up with another story I had made for New Year's. And so I really wanted to, after going back and watching the New Year's Story that I'm referring to in the video, I would like to amend my rating for this one. A New Year's Story, I would give it an A tier, and to be honest, it really has sparked an idea, you know, some ideas and some thoughts in my mind as to what I want to do for this coming New Year's. So yeah, A New Year's Story, I'm going to take it out of D tier, and like I said, I made it because I put it in D tier because I don't remember it very well, and because I was comparing it to another New Year's Story that I had written in the past, but I would like to make an amends. New Year's Story is going to be A tier. So thank you very much. This is Editing Amanda out. The World is a Stage is my next one. And if I remember right, I kind of liked this one. I liked the idea behind it. I like the idea of like playing a part and, you know, this whole entire facade, and it felt like it, you know, kind of reminisced back into my the days when I was like, yeah, I used to do some kind of, you know, some play and acting stuff in high school and stuff like that. So I feel like I resonated with it more at one point in time. I feel like it might be an A or B tier. I'm gonna put it on B tier. I think World is a Stage is going to be a B tier. Yeah. B tier story. In This Jar. Now, I liked the idea of In This Jar. It was, and I did some drawing for this story, which was a lot of fun. And I remember that the inspiration actually came from a children's story that I was reading to one of my classes at the time. like one of my training classes that I was doing. And I thought it was like a really cute story. So I liked it. But is it A tier? I think In a Jar might be B tier again. Because I really liked the concept. I really liked what I did with it. And I especially enjoyed doing like the little drawings for it. I feel like it made it stand out and kind of help capture that children's books, feel of it. But I also remember picturing more in my head, I guess, than what I actually was able to do. So, yeah, so In a Jar, it's going to be B tier. Now, next up, Strawberry Milk. Now, I feel like this is where my stories like took a turn, if that makes sense, and for like the better. Strawberry Milk just hits differently. I don't know, not the beverage. I really enjoyed Strawberry Milk. I don't know if I enjoyed it S tier though, because I would put it up with like Feather Pen and Lighthouse Keeper, and I don't know. There's other ones that are coming up that I feel like are more so Strawberry Milk. Oh. But I feel like I really connect with that one though. And I feel like whenever I think back on like stories that like I wrote that I enjoyed or like really connected with, or really liked. I liked the filming of it. I liked the B-roll that I did. I liked the story. I liked the connection to, to a younger version of myself. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go Strawberry Milk is gonna be an S tier, I think, because I really like it. I really liked, yeah, it was a good one. The Last Story. This one I really also liked as well, and I was looking at this when I was looking at Strawberry Milk, is do I like The Last Strawberry Milk as much as I like The Last Story? The Last Story was kind of focused on this idea of, not knowing when my last story was going to be my last story, or if I would know that it was my last story. And how things, kind of happen unexpectedly and such. I think Last Story is, I don't want to keep on putting things in S tier, but like at the same time, I feel like The Last Story is going to be an S tier kind of thing. I really liked The Last Story, and I really liked the kind of like the idea behind it of not knowing when, because you don't know when things are going to come to an end, and sometimes things happen for the last time that you don't realize are happening for the last time. So for that reason, I really liked The Last Story. I'm going to put in the S tier. So Forest of Cards is my next one. I remember liking this one more when I put it out on Patreon. Not as much though, but I put it on YouTube. Just like something about it got old to me, or didn't quite connect with me the same way it did when I put it out on my Patreon. Forest of Cards, I think, is going to be a C tier for me. Yeah. I remember filming it. I remember all the stuff that I had to do in order to film the B-roll and such, but I'm going to go with Forest of Cards being a C tier. October Skies. That was I like another October one. It was like a little witch kind of story. It was cute. And I got a mug out of it. And, it was just like a sweet little story about a little witch on her broomstick. I don't know if I liked it better than Knock on Wood. Well, I kind of did. It was kind of sweet. It was kind of cute. Kind of got me back to that like children's story kind of mentality, I guess, in some ways. So I think maybe October Skies is going to be a B tier for me. Yeah, I think so. Then November Night. I liked the November Night. I liked the imagery. I liked the idea behind it. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was cute. I think it's A tier material. Not B tier, not S tier. I think it's A tier material. Little Footprints. Little Footprints was it was a Christmas one. I don't think it wasn't last year's Christmas one. It wasn't last year's Christmas one. It was. Little Footprints was last year's Christmas one. It was cute. It was nice. It was about the little raccoon family. It was cute. I think it was cute along the same lines that October Skies was cute. So maybe Little Footprints I put in the B tier. I think that fits. I think that checks out. The Cat of the Evergreen Express. I really liked this one. I really liked the drawings I did for it. It's the kind of stories that I wish I could write kind of like more bigger and like, storybook and for kids. or not even for kids, just, I don't know, it's just a cute story in general. The Cat at the Evergreen Express, I think it might be a S tier, or is it, I don't know. It's either an S tier or an A tier for me. I think I'm gonna go with, I don't know, what do you think? I think I'm gonna go with the, I think I'm gonna go with, I don't know. I'm gonna go, okay, A tier. So if I'm debating, it's obviously not S tier. It needs to be, you know, just really up there. So Cat at the Evergreen Express, A tier, but probably should be S tier because I really, really liked that story and just the idea behind it, and, you know, creating a whole little world for this little cat and a little job for him. So The Words You Didn't Say. This was a, this was meant to be a, I was on a podcast and they did a challenge with just a phrase. So The Words You Didn't Say was the title, or like the words that had to be used in in that script or podcast, or, you know, the thing that they were doing. And so I decided to make my own story based off of it in order to kind of let you guys know that I was part of that podcast or had been on an episode of it. The Words You Didn't Say. I feel like in some ways I really resonated at times with it. So I think it might be A tier. I don't know. I just really liked the imagery. It was kind of sad. It was kind of nice. It was kind of sweet. Really played into thoughts, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, I think A tier for me for The Words You Didn't Say. Delonia. This one, it was a word I had learned, and I really, whoops. Nope, that's not how you spell it. It was a word I learned that I really liked the idea of, the story. I liked it when I posted it first. I wasn't as big of a fan of it as time went on. I never know why. I think it's just because I see, you know, I write new things and I feel like I connect with those things better because they're what's happening to me at that point in time. So I think Delonia maybe falls into maybe it's more of a C tier. No, I really liked it at the time when I was writing it. I'm gonna go B tier. At one point in time, it was very well loved by me, and so I want to give it a B tier because I want to respect that part and that time. And then Lake of a Thousand Stars. This one, I kind of remember it. I kind of don't. It was just more of a, I don't know. I probably watched Howl's Moving Castle, and I probably watched that scene where Sophie is kind of running through the fields, trying to reach Howl, and I probably saw the stars falling and tried to capture that idea. Didn't capture it nearly as well as that. So for that reason, Lake of a Thousand Stars is going to go in C tier. Then next, As I Cried Last Night. That really, not meant to be sad. I do apologize. Well, I mean, it was meant to be sad, but like not meant to make you guys sad. So I got a couple people be like, "Are you okay?" It makes me sad, but like, yeah. I mean, it's just, I feel like it was a very raw and emotional. You know, it felt like it. You know, I was really upset about something at the time, and so like it felt, you know, it was very different, and I felt like I connected to it really well. I feel like it's probably a B tier. Yeah. Because I kind of like the imagery of it. I like the idea of it. I feel like I kind of, you know, kind of connects with that, not necessarily primal, but like that, you know, that younger, more innocent child version of yourself that just, you know, sometimes feels upset and they, you know, they need to let it out and can't figure out how to handle those kinds of emotions. So, yeah. So I Cried Last Night, Dancing with My Shadow. I liked this one, not as much as I wish I could have liked it. So I think I'm Dancing with My Shadow. I feel like that's going to be, I think it's probably a C tier. I think it's a C tier. I think I wanted to make more out of it than there actually was. So, but yeah. So Dancing with My Shadow, C tier. Daisy. I didn't really like Daisy. I remember Daisy. I drew a picture for it. It wasn't even a good picture. Daisy was all right. It just wasn't for me. Just wasn't great. Going Home, though. This was one I wrote fairly recently. Yeah, by fairly recently, I mean like last month or so. It was in November. I loved Going Home. Going Home was great. Going Home, it was about the train. and her not knowing if she's going to get on the train or not, and her definition, what this one girl's definition of home is compared to everyone else's definition, and her not knowing if she's actually has a home in the way that other people maybe have homes. I loved going home. Going home S tier for me personally. Then we're getting to the final couple ones. Panda Tales. This one was really fun. It was kind of a take on the Five Nights at Freddy's games. And so it was kind of, I thought it was a really fun one. So Panda Tales for me, I liked it. I have been kind of thinking about doing something similar to it for a while. So I'm glad that I finally got to do it for October, for spooky season. So Panda Tales is going to go in A tier for me just because I finally got to do it and I was excited to. And then Falling for You. Falling for You was, I don't know, it was just this very romantic and wonderful story. And it very, if you're a Patreon, you saw the Patreon story for that month as well. It was very different. It felt like it was very juxtaposition almost. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it was very, opposite version of it. So, yeah, Falling for You, it was a really cute story. It was sweet. I liked the, I liked the November and the play on the fall and the forest and the mystery behind it. I think Falling for You is going to be an A tier for me. And then last story, the one that just came out a couple days ago, is going to be 9 Wooden Men. That one came, I originally wrote last year about this time for my Patreons because their Christmas ornament last year was little nutcrackers, and so in that video you can see me making the nutcrackers that I made last year for my Patreons. So 9 Wooden Men, I'm going to say it was cute. It was cute. I liked how it rhymed. It felt very Christmassy. I feel like all the traditional Christmas stories always rhyme. So I think for that reason I'm going to put it in B tier. So there you have it. It feels like a lot less. But here is my listing for part 2 of my short stories that I have written. So I think so far from what we can see, and this is like the last video, so this is all the stories I've written that I've posted on Patreon, not on Patreon, on YouTube. There is, of course, more stories I've written and posted on Patreon that maybe next year I will add to this list. But for now, yeah, this is my list. We had kind of like more importantly, in my S tier, we found out my top tier stories are going to be Lighthouse Keeper, Feather Pen, Strawberry Milk, the last story, and then Going Home as well, by my more recent ones, Going Home. So yeah, I feel like it's a little bit more spread out. I feel like last time it was very kind of C and D heavy. But I think that we see that as, as the things that I'm writing about are like getting closer to where current me is at. I'm finding that I'm connecting with stories more, of course, because they're more on par with where I'm currently at in life. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this experience. It was something I wanted to do for a while, was write my stories, just because I was kind of interested to look back and just kind of see where I placed different things. So yeah, I would love to hear down in the comment section down below, though, where you would place certain stories. During my part 1, I had a couple people commenting and letting me know, like, hey, you posted something, in D tier or C tier that I really thought was S tier quality for me. And I really like hearing that because, it kind of gets me to want to go back and revisit those stories and be like, okay, so someone else saw something here and I want to know, like, what they saw in a story that, in my mind, kind of passed me by in a way that I didn't pass them by. So let me know down in the comment section down below which stories you would say are within your S tier rank, and if there's any stories in your D tier rank, I'm always happy to hear about those as well. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe because on the 24th, Christmas Eve, I will be posting another story where I will be reading some kind of your classic Christmas stories, and so I'm very excited to do that. It was something I did with my class recently, and so I thought, you know what, I'm sure you guys would also like to hear some Christmas stories. I feel like as grown-ups, as adults, or wherever you are in your life, we sometimes forget the joys that are reading like children's Christmas books. So make sure to hit subscribe so that you can come back for Christmas Eve, where I'll be doing that. And then, of course, there will be a video posted on the 25th, actually, Christmas Day. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Give this video a big thumbs up, like I said, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye-bye.